we get going, and they are off, ladies and gentlemen. 20-minute sprint race on the ways. These guys fan out. Looks like K Morris gets a good shout to the outside. Looks like he's going to make the dive on the inside. Luke Bennett gets 3 wide. Let's go back in behind these guys and see what's going on back here. Luke Bennett looks like he's pushed way out wide. K Morris looks like he gets away, and Luke Bennett still on the inside. Looks like he's coming around here as we try to keep a track of all this action here. Take a look at Johnny. Gets a little hit from the outside. Gets a little loose, but K Morris looks like he gets away all by himself as we come. These guys still 3 wide. 3 wide as he's come down to turn 3 as they look like they're coming into turn 4 here. It's a tricky section. The K Morris looks like he gets out front. Gray Warrior, Luke Bennett, Disco McDisco Face, all these guys here coming down nose to tail as hard as they can here. They're coming down to this chicane here. They're all going to have to get on the brakes. You see them all coming through. Guys are jumping the curves. Looks like the Dukes of Hazzard here in this chicane. JR gets through. Amber Q gets through. All these guys coming up over the hill like a bunch of madmen driving these Ginetta GT4s as they got to get on the brakes one more time through turn 7 as they call this chicane here. And you can see all these guys come through real cleanly. We go back up here to Gray Warrior being harassed by Luke Bennett now. Luke Bennett all over the back of Gray Warrior. This is all happening 1 second behind K Morris. You can see Amber Q, JR, Lecky, and Johnny, and Lionsfoot, NRP, all these guys coming into the frame. What great concentration. Let's take it back up here to the front. You see K Morris come out. These guys come down to the back stretch towards turn 10 through this chicane. There's a hard braking zone here. K Morris, you can see him come into the picture on the brakes. You can hear the RPMs drop. Gray Warrior, Luke Bennett, nose to tail as these guys come up through here. Let's take a look back through here. Look at all these guys coming through here. Look at a great job of these guys. The concentration. Go back up front. Luke Bennett looks like somebody went around there. I'm not sure who that was. Anyway, Luke Bennett looks like he's pulling over. Looks like there may have been some contact. Yeah, Luke Bennett dropping back through the field, giving a position back. Take it back up in the front here. Anyway, JR lock and load all over one of our new members, Amber Q. Amber Q did a great job last week, did a great job last night on Thursday Night Lights. One of the top guys in this league already. It's only his 2nd week in their first season in this 2nd season here. You got side by side, pushes Amber Q out. Amber Q gets wide, goes into the wall. He's got to recollect it. He comes back out. JR gets by. Let's see if everybody can get through here. We try to look through these camera angles, and here they come, ladies and gentlemen. NRP, we're looking along here with NRP as they come side by side. Him and Lionsfoot to the inside. NRP to the outside. Lionsfoot takes it back to the outside. NRP makes a move. You see all these guys right in behind him. We're getting positioned that Scotty has to give a position back here for some strange reason. We're not sure. Trying to keep a try on all this action there. See somebody gets ripping through the chicane there. Johnny looks like he cuts through the chicane, gets forced out there. It comes back on track, and you see NRP, Lionsfoot, and Ayatel, all these guys go right around him. You see all these guys coming back through here. You see Lecky coming in all behind there. Luke Bennett now up to 8th place, right behind Lecky here. They're going to keep an eye on this battle here. There's about 5 or 8 cars here, ladies and gentlemen, all stacked up together, and somebody else goes into the wall. Looks like we're not sure who that was, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, taking a look at Amber Q's, they come down through. You see Luke Bennett, you see Ayatel, you see Lecky, all these guys, they come up through the chicane. Taking a ride here at Lionsfoot as he comes out through the chicane. 16 minutes left to go in this session here. You see Lionsfoot, you see John Boy, Amber Q, Luke, Ayatel, all these guys coming down. Let's take a look at the turn 1 action here as you see JR in 2nd, NRP in 3rd right now. Or JR's coming up through turn 2 all by himself. Looks like he got away from these guys. There's a big battle going back on there. NRP, Lionsfoot, and Johnny. All 3 of these guys are battling for position. A lot of same kind of colors. Amber and Luke. Looks like Luke's coming through too. Luke now in 7th place. He had to get back in position. He was up to 2nd. Now he's back to 6th. It looks like he's up to 6th. As Amber Q looks like he goes a little wide. Johnny, meanwhile, out front leading this parade here. Or Lionsfoot leading this parade. You see all these guys come down. You got NRP, Lionsfoot, John, Luke, Amber, Lecky. As Lecky comes in through here behind all these guys. These other guys come up through the hill, and I see Lecky gets a little loose there as he goes around. Who else is in there? Looks like Ayatel must have got in there as well. Oh, it's unfortunate for him. So we go back to the front here. See NRP coming up through this chicane here. As they come out of the chicane, up through around turn 7, out through turn 8. This turn 8 up here is a real hard turn 8. They're going to have to get on the brakes pretty hard. You see NRP gets on the brakes. You see Johnny behind him and Luke behind him. Luke now up to 5th place. Johnny all the way out as they come up here around this little kink here they call turn 9. So they have to come up into the hard braking zone at turn 10. I try to get it all figured out, but you can see them all coming here. Johnny, Luke, you got Amber Q, all these guys right behind him. And Gray Warrior and Tuggy Bear look like they fell off a little bit there. Back to 7th and 8th, we heard some reports that there was a slowdown penalty that somebody had to give back, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But anyway, Johnny, Luke, and Amber, all three of these guys coming into turn 1. You can see them on the brakes here. Let's take a ride on board with one of these guys, see if we can get an idea of the lap around this here, what the guys are doing around here. We'll go inside here. We'll take a ride on with Johnny here. Currently in 4th place, chasing NRP. You can hear Luke right behind him. And I don't see the mirror on, so you can see they got to get on the brakes. He's got to come down into this apex, try to get as much as he can, let the car slide all the way to back out. The momentum he got right there goes to the outside of NRP. NRP has the line right now, but can Johnny get around him? Looks like Johnny onto the brakes, down through the chicane. And let's go trackside here as we take a look at this here. He's trying to get a onboard view here, but there's too much action here to see all by themselves. You see John takes the position away from NRP. Meanwhile, Luke is right behind these guys watching all this unfold. It's Johnny and NRP and Luke and Amber Q now coming into the picture right now. K Morris, meanwhile, out front by 4 seconds. JR comfortably settled in behind him, 3 seconds behind him. And this battle right here is happening about 5 seconds behind JR. Johnny, NRP, Luke, and Amber Q. All 4 of these guys. Amber Q a little off the pace from these guys, but still sticking around as we see Johnny lead these guys. They come out of turn 9, up through the gears as they come down to this hard acceleration or hard braking zone right by the bridge. These guys got to get hard on the brakes. You can see the front ends dive as these guys make the big left-hander and then back on the right. You got to watch them curves. Them curves don't throw them off. As you can see, they all come out in line. All these guys know what they're doing. These guys are very, very talented. Some of Rubbings Racing's finest here tonight into the Ginetta GT4 Challenge. You see, Luke looks like he makes a peek to the inside. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he goes all the way down to the inside. Great exit. And you see, looks like Luke, who is that? Is that no? Luke got through. Looks like NRP got loose there. NRP back to 6, shuffled back to shuffled back to 6th. As Luke gets up to 3rd place right now behind Johnny right now, harassing Johnny, seeing if he can make up any time that he gave up to the leader there when he had to give that position back on that contact out of the last chicane. You see Johnny coming down on the brakes as they come through the Klein chicane. It can be really smooth through here. If you can get it right, it can be really fast. If you don't, you can really lose a lot of time through there. And Johnny and Luke both look like they got to get it right. This battle's happening 6 seconds behind the leader. NRP was racing with these guys. You can see him just entering the picture right there into the chicane. He's coming in right now 5th, about 9 seconds behind these guys. So everybody's starting to spread out here a little bit. We'll go back here to Lions Foot and Disco McDisco Face. These guys here, they were battling up front a little bit. Looks like they already got shuffled back. We heard, like we said before, that there was a give back penalty or some kind of time penalty. So lost a lot of time to a penalty that was very questionable. So Lions Foot currently right now chasing Disco McDisco Face as they come out of the chicane at turn 7, up around turn 8. And they're going to have to come up here down to this hard braking zone as they come down. You can see the tires smoke going as this hard right-hander as they come out of there. And you see, oh no, Lions Foot goes around into the fence. Disco McDisco Face keeps going. Gray Warrior, meanwhile, in front of him, and Tuggy Bear. All 3 of these guys. It looks like all these guys looks like right along right now with Tuggy Bear. It looks like somebody else gets crazy. Gray Warrior looks like he goes down sideways in the background there. Oh, that is unfortunate. You see these guys coming around. Careful coming out of that last chicane, guys. A lot of guys are spinning, getting to the throttle too early or something there. These guys have to look at it. Meanwhile, Luke and Johnny still going at it. Looks like Luke's still behind Johnny. Looks like he's studying his line. Knows that the racetrack's a little bit loose. Track temperatures are favorable, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 73 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So the track temperature is 88 degrees Fahrenheit. So favorable conditions for soft tires. So you guys should be fast, shouldn't be using up too much tires. Looks like they might just be getting a little loose. Might have to adjust their pressures as they come down through the chicane here. Johnny's still out front of Luke. Luke's still harassing. Looks like he did a wheelie coming out of that chicane. The suspension must be really stiff in that Ginetta as he comes around the corner through turn 8 here. They come down as hard as they possibly can on the throttle and then right back to the brakes. They're going to have to do a lot of braking to get through here. You see Johnny on the brake, Luke on the brake. It's a little loose. The rear end comes out a little bit, comes sideways out of the corner. He's still chasing Johnny, trying to make up as much time as he can. Looks like he's currently about 0.7 of a second behind him here. This is the battle right now for second, but looks like we got a battle up in the front right here now, first and second. K Morris was way out front. K Morris must have had an incident. JR, either that or JR figured something out. JR lock and load. Oh, he got commentator curse. He saves it. What a save by JR. Lock and load. He comes slinging through there like Knight Rider. Oh, JR, what a great load. But he loses about 2 seconds to K Morris. That was a really close battle there. K Morris out front now by 3 seconds. Comfortably be back out where he was. And this allowed John Boy to catch up by about 2 seconds here. Currently about 2.5 seconds behind JR, but you can see them guys coming into the picture right there. Well, I don't know where the camera went. Well, here they come. Get it all sorted out. You see Luke right here still behind Johnny as these guys come down through the Klein chicane, down through turns 5 and up around turn 6 before they come up to this next chicane. You got right as you come out of this corner, you got to have the car straight, get back on the brakes, get it straightened out, off the brakes, turn the car in, try to get it balanced. There's a lot going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Just more than just riding around on the track and holding the steering wheel. There's a lot of concentration these guys have to figure out and try to figure out how to get around each other at this level. And right now we're seeing Luke Bennett trying to get around Johnny. Guys have been following each other about 3 or 4 laps. There's about 8 minutes and 20 seconds left in this segment here, ladies and gentlemen, in this first sprint race right now. Go down through the field as we look here, come through the corner. K Morris out front, purple car. JR second coming into the picture right now. It's battle for third right now as you got K or Johnny. Looks like he cuts the nose off of Luke Bennett. Says, you're not going to pass me right here before the chicane. Luke Bennett comes right out behind him. Can he make anything happen? See these two coming down the front stretch to the start-finish line. This is coming into lap 9, ladies and gentlemen, or lap 8, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Bennett looks like he's going to try to make something happen on the outside, try to gain that momentum, see if he can make it stick to the inside. Johnny goes outside. Luke Bennett now to the outside. Johnny has the inside line. Luke Bennett's trying to figure out how to get out around and puts the bumper to him just a little bit. Maybe he had a little bit of a run there. No harm, no foul. These guys just hard racing. As you guys see, they come up here to turn 4. This is a tricky corner. They get down on that apron and all the way back to the other curb, trying to carry as much momentum as they can before they got to get on the brakes down here at this, what they call the Klein chicane, turn 5. You can straighten it out. You got to be really good at doing it. And you can see these guys coming through. It looks like they're jumping. There's air underneath the tires, trying to race each other. This is all right now for third position. JR back to 4th now. Not sure what happened to JR. Must have had a misfortune there, but anyway, now Johnny up to 2nd right now. Luke Bennett currently right behind him and JR in 4th here. So let's take a ride along with JR here and see if we can watch this battle out of his windshield here between Johnny and Luke. You see Johnny going around turn 8 right here. JR in behind him on that apex all the way to the outside. You can see these two. Looks like Luke Bennett lost a little bit of time coming out of that corner right there. Oh, got a slowdown penalty. Luke Bennett got a slowdown penalty. So he had to serve that penalty. So you see JR coming through there. Oh, hits the curb and spins it around. Let's ride along with Luke Bennett now as he tries to catch back up with Johnny. 6 minutes and 14 seconds left in this segment here, ladies and gentlemen. Not 9 laps. Track temperatures are 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 73 degrees is the ambient temperature outside. So let's take a look back over here at trackside as we look at all the Luke and Johnny still heated up battle with about 6 minutes left in this segment here. So we go back through the field here. See K Morris now out front all by himself now, 4 seconds. He must have had a mistake, must have made a mistake, must have got off track or a slowdown. It's not like him. He's a pretty solid driver. As we see him come through that Klein chicane. Flawless, not under pressure, not having to work him over here. Luke and Johnny coming into the picture right behind them two. These guys are just screaming as you hear these Ginettas up over the hill, down around that left-hander. They got to get hard on the brakes right here, hard on the brakes. Try to get it all figured out in through the chicane. Get the weight of that car around. You can see that suspension just bottoming out and jumping back up. These guys got to be losing the front end as they're coming through there until that car settles back down. Johnny's still in second right now, making up time to K Morris, 3.1 seconds. Let's ride along with K Morris and see what's happening there. K Morris coming out of turn 8, out around turn 9. See what happened up. He's making up a little more time now, 3.3 seconds. So you see Johnny now coming into the picture and Luke Bennett right behind him. All three of these guys racing for a position for a podium. Johnny in second, Luke in third, and all the way back to 14th. Fourth is Ambercue. You see him there coming around the corner. And you got NRP coming in behind him. JR must have had another mistake. 22 seconds back now. Not sure. Car still looks like it's still in good condition, but I got a little bumper damage there. I think he was off last week. He raced in the feature sprint last week, so he's been very, very, very busy. It's very, very good to have him in here tonight. But let's get back here to the lead. Looks like Johnny out front just a little more here. Looks like he pulled about a second away from Luke Bennett. See what Luke Bennett can do. Anything left here. There's 4 minutes. 4 minutes left in this session here, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 10 right now. Luke Bennett 3.4 seconds behind Johnny, now within 2.2 seconds of K Morris. K Morris maybe had another slowdown. Maybe he had another incident there. We're not sure, but we can see Johnny just right in the picture. Him and Luke and all three of these guys, the top three in this league right now, all within the picture of each other. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. This is after 17 minutes of racing. No cautions, no mandatory pit stop. This is about how they started, and this is about how it may shake out as we see all three of these guys come into the picture, riding right now with K Morris. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in this sprint race as he comes around turn 9 and all the way around the corner, and you can see Luke and Johnny in the background coming out around that corner. It looks like he lost a little more time coming there, so Ambercue 14 seconds behind them. Then it's 22 seconds back to NRP. NRP is another one of our new racers. Joined last week. Glad to have him on board. Great racer. He made a couple debuts already, showing what he's worth here. Top five, guys. This is great. 5 out of 13. So, got something to say about yourself, NRP. Great race. JR, meanwhile, coming into the picture here. You can see him. Looks like somebody else got loose back there. Disco McDisco Face coming in behind him. So, 2 minutes left here, ladies and gentlemen. Go back out to this lead for second place here. We'll see if anything's materialized. They climbed within 1 second of K Morris. 0.9 seconds. So let's take a look at K Morris here. See K Morris out of the corner. You see Johnny right behind him and Luke right behind him. So there must be some tire wear or some mistakes being made here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's we got 2 minutes left in this session here. To see these guys, you got K Morris, Johnny, and Luke. K Morris coming up over the hill, Johnny up over the hill, Luke Bennett coming in the background as he comes out around that left-hander, hard on the brakes as he comes down through the chicane. Johnny all over the back of him, Luke Bennett in behind him. Luke Bennett's just back there paying attention and watching these two. K Morris is the points leader. Notice is a huge day in the points for him. He's got to keep his nose clean, got to keep this thing together. His rival, Bobby Dazzler, not his rival, but the guy second in points, wasn't able to make it. See here, Bobby Dazzler on the brakes. He's going to try to make a stick. It looks like he's going to try to make it look to the outside. Johnny's trying to make it. Luke Bennett's right behind, just in case any of these guys gather each other up. As you see K Morris come out front, Johnny behind him, Luke Bennett all behind him. Johnny makes a move to the outside. See if they can make it stick through the chicane side by side as they come. Johnny's got the line. They make a little bit of contact. Johnny gets up on 2 wheels, regains position as these guys come down across the line side by side. K Morris has the advantage at the line, but we don't know what's going to happen next time. Johnny and Luke Bennett have been coming for K Morris. K Morris is now under pressure. Is his tires warming up? Was he saving his equipment? Johnny and Luke now making a move to the outside. Oh, they make contact. They get together. Oh, K Morris gets spun, loses the car. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that is misfortunate. Oh, that is great racing, but unfortunate. Johnny inherits the lead. Let's take a look at these two here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Johnny out, and Johnny now takes the lead out front. You got Luke Bennett in behind him. And we're not sure what happened here. Where'd they go? Oh, now we got Luke out front. Okay, here we go. Luke's now out front. Looks like Johnny must have spun. Johnny must have spun, ladies and gentlemen. Luke's out front all by himself. Now you got K Morris going by Johnny. This is last lap shake up here. K Morris, what a great recovery. Back up the second, out around Johnny. Johnny now trying to get the position back away from him. K Morris knows there's a little bit of a points difference there, but trying to get the win, all importantly, trying to get this win. Luke Bennett now 9 seconds out in front of these guys. Don't think it's going to happen as there's 3 seconds left in this session, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep an eye on Luke Bennett here as he comes across the start-finish line. We think this is probably going to be the last time. We're going to keep an eye on this race right here. K Morris in second, Johnny behind him. These guys are really racing. This could be the last lap. We think it is, ladies and gentlemen. K Morris to the inside, Johnny to the outside. These guys have made contact 2 or 3 different times. Great, clean racing. The incident before looked like K Morris was just trying to avoid something, got a little loose as these guys come side by side out of this corner. Johnny tries to make a move. K Morris tries to make the block. Johnny goes back to the outside. K Morris holds the inside line. Johnny's going to see if he can try to make any kind of move. Race is over, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Bennett across the line first. And both of these guys get side by side, both into the wall. And Amber Cuey coming in the background. Can he make anything happen? K Morris, no, regathers. And let's go back here. K Morris to third. Looks like, I don't know who got 4th place there. Oh, looks like Amber Cuey gets 4th place. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that was epic finish. Let's go back to the field, see what else is happening there. NRP coming across. You got Disco McDisco Face coming out of the last corner by himself. Tuggy Bear looks like he's back there trying to regather it. Lecky behind him. We see Lecky coming down now. Here on that braking zone, through the hard braking zone here, making that hard right-hander coming now all the way down. Lion's Foot in behind him. You got a little battle going on back here. You got JR and Ayatel. JR fell way back. His tires must have got soft or hard. Maybe he didn't have the right compound. Let's keep an eye on this battle right here. Ayatel right now, 10th place. You see Lion's Foot, Ayatel, and JR all in the picture. And this is all for 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th place. Right now, Lion's Foot in 9th. Ayatel looks like he's going to give the position, runs him into the sand. Looks like these guys are going to have to sort out their penalties, or maybe penalties issued. We're not sure. Ayatel looks like he gets out in front of JR. JR comes out to 11. And Grey Warrior bringing up these guys in 13th or 12th. And DJ Phil all by himself in the back riding around. He is going to be our feature race leader as he does a celebratory burnout. These guys, thank you for tuning in. That was our sprint race. Stay tuned for 3 or 4 minutes. We're going to get everything sorted out and be back for our feature race. And it looks like the leader is gone. DJ Phil is gone. Grey Warrior beside him. These guys, all this angry pack of Ginetta is coming down through the field here. Let's take a look back here through Disco McDisco Face. Let's ride on board here. Oh, Disco McDisco Face goes around. Lecky gets by. Let's go back through the field here. We see Fury come through the back of the pack as these guys come down through turn 2. Try to ride on board and try to take a good look here to see all this action. Ayatel, Grey Warrior, and now JR lock and load now takes the lead. Had a really bad finish. Able to start out front as we go back trackside here and look at all these guys come down this front stretch here. This is great action as these guys come down towards this first chicane here. Get rid of this interface. If you see, oh, we got on here. Let's take a look back here, see what's happening. We got Lions Foot got through, K Morris got through, Tuggy Bear, John Boy, NRP, all these guys got through. So the top 8 got through. These guys are all within 3 seconds of each other. You see them come down. Oh, it looks like K Morris gets sideways. One more time as he gets it straightened out as he comes up through the grass. And we got a bunch of carnage going back here through the chicane. Luke Bennett gets through. Amber Cuey riding along with him. K Morris comes in behind Amber Cuey to get it all sorted out as these guys come out through turn 7, out through turn 8. They're going to come up to this hard braking zone here, ladies and gentlemen. Riding on with K Morris, looking at K Morris here, following all these guys, see if they can come down through here. Oh, we had a guy spin. Oh, he's got to hold his line there. Looks like Fury must have came across the track here against K Morris. Oh, that is unfortunate. Amber Cuey gets through, and you see, looks like Ayatel coming into the background there. Back to the lead. Got JR being chased by Grey Warrior, and Lecky into the picture now. Lecky up to 3rd place. Let's ride in the cockpit here with Lecky and see if we can check this battle up front. We see JR, Grey Warrior, and Lecky now the top 3. Lions Foot behind these guys by about 2 seconds here. You see these guys come up through turn 2. This is a tricky, weird kind of corner. Kind of get out of the outside, back to the inside. Getting too much speed to the outside to get you into the dirt. You got to carry just the right amount of speed and back onto the brakes here. Got trail braking into the chicane a little bit and follow come up through there. You can see they're already getting loose. Track temperature is 88 degrees Fahrenheit, so the temperatures are favorable, but they are calling for rain in the forecast here as we go back trackside. As you see all these guys come through. Let's go back here and see what Luke Bennett's up to. Luke Bennett being chased by Johnny one more time, and Amber Kiwi. All three of these guys finished in, I think, that position in the first race. All three of these guys are racing like crazy in the first outing. So Luke Bennett now up to 6th place after starting all the way back in 13th. Great run from Luke Bennett. We know there's a ton of action going on in the back of the track here. We got Kay Morris. Seen him get spun. Looked like he was involved in another incident where a driver didn't hold his brakes to come across the track. We're going to have to look at that. Kay Morris got to be frustrated. Points leader, had a great outing in the first race, coming in second. No, Bobby Dazzler's not in the race to challenge him for points, but there are still guys capable of challenging Kay Morris right now for the points. Currently sitting 280 points out in front of everybody. Lecky 157 behind him in this race. So Bobby Dazzler's the closest at 242. So Bobby Dazzler's going to lose a lot of points. Technically 70 points for this race if everything would have worked out perfectly for him. So huge points day for Bobby Dazzler. Kay Morris, meanwhile, trying to regather. We're keeping an eye on him in the back of this pack currently in 12th place. We know there's a pit stop involved. We know that there's weather involved, so maybe he just might be just gathering himself back up. Let the front of these guys shake themselves out and everybody get on their lines and get everybody organized here. So Kay Morris is a smart driver. He's leading the points for a reason. He's in the Ginetta series every Friday night. Great to have him. Great to see him back here. Just being patient. Take a look at Disco and Ayatel. Disco right now on the back of Ayatel as these guys come down through turn 4 off of that little berm, and you can see Amber Chewy. You can see Amber Chewy Lionsfoot and I think Luke or Johnny, Amber Chewy and Lionsfoot right in front of him there as you see Disco come down hard on the brakes as they come down through this Klein machine. Looks like he got it wrong that time, all the way out to the curb. And we got a car, looks like Tuggy Bear going around, didn't get it right. I said earlier in the feature race, in the sprint race, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't get it right, it can be your worst enemy. If you do, it can be your best friend on time. But anyway, Johnny right now up to 5th place. Luke Bennett up to 4th, and NRP behind all these guys. You see NRP coming out behind these guys. He's come down through turn 8, back on the accelerator, down around this little tiny turn 9 they call it. You can see all these guys still in line. No sign of rain or any kind of moisture in the air yet. So these guys are still just kind of getting a feel for each other, trying to figure out when they're going to pit, if they're going to pit, who started on slicks, who started on hards, if anybody started on wets. Don't know what kind of strategies are playing out here today, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen some crazy ones here at Ravens Racing. So right now, NRP and Johnny and Luke right now. Luke in front of Johnny and NRP. All three of these guys, they come up through out of turn 1 and through turn 2 here. Is this long sweeping right-hander. Luke all the way out onto the paint, gathers it up, back out. These Ginettas are notorious. If the camber angles aren't right, these things will hit a curb and just send you to the moon. Speaking of the moon, we heard E.T. was on the YouTube. He said he wanted that alien Luke Bennett back. So Luke Bennett, if you're listening, E.T. wants you to come home, my friend. Luke Bennett up to 4th place now, 6 seconds behind the leader. Lecky up to 3rd, 4 seconds, chasing Gray Warriors. You see these guys come up over the hill. Gray Warrior up to 2nd place. You see him out of the frame, up at the front of the frame. He comes through the chicane. Lecky's through the chicane. Luke Bennett behind him and Johnny behind him. NRP, all three of these guys. And let's take a look back here and see what's happening. Kay Morris up to 8th place. Gets around Disco McDisco Face. 16 seconds now behind the leader. See if he can make up any time today. See if these pit strategies will work out. We know he's a smart racer. Like we said, he's leading the points. Got to be a little frustrated. Gotten a couple early lap incidents. Lap 5 out of 25, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 5 out of 25. So we have 20 laps remaining here with weather on the way. As we look right on board here with Kay Moore, right trackside with Kay Moore. See him come through turn 8. Gets back on the throttle. Gets a little loose. Regathers it. Back around turn 9. All the way down here. And we look here and take a look at Lecky right now. Lecky right now currently chasing Gray Warrior. JR currently in the lead. He's complaining in the after the sprint race that his car was horrible. Could not handle it. Could not hold on to it. Must have figured something out in the intermission. Got his car figured out for this longer setup race here. So JR 3.9 seconds out in front of Gray Warrior, and we're watching this battle now as you see Gray Warrior go out of the frame, Lecky now out of the frame. The black and white Ginetta, the number 59 Ginetta, as they come here through turn 4 on that berm all the way to the outside. Back here to Disco McDisco Face. Currently now it's still chasing K Morris. These guys are still right next to each other. K Morris looking really good. 17 seconds, losing a little bit of time to the leaders. Might be conserving his equipment. We're not sure. We're getting reports from the track that it has started raining, so now the pit strategies may come into play. They did some practice here. Some guys were able to maintain it with the slicks and keep it. Some guys went to the wets and would go back through. Looks like you go back through the field here. I thought we heard a spin, but anyway, Johnny right now out in front or out behind Luke Bennett. Johnny can see him coming up as it's starting to rain. Track conditions are going to start to change. Lecky right in front of these two as these guys come out around the corner. Amber Chewy right there. There we go. We see Gray Warrior, all 5 of these guys, JR, Gray Warrior, Lecky, Luke, and Johnny, all these guys. NRP now coming into the picture. Hard on the brakes as they come down through this first chicane, nose to tail. Oh, they're pushing and shoving. Looks like Luke gets shuffled to the inside. Has to get off the accelerator, regain it as NRP comes into the picture. Lecky, meanwhile, takes the position on the outside. Johnny's on the inside. Johnny's got the preferred line. See if they can get this break. Watch the track conditions are changing. They're getting to get a little slick. There's still some heat in the track, so got to watch for standing water and maybe some oil slicks out there. See Lecky get wide, comes in, takes the dive to the inside of the corner, all the way to the backside, but Johnny and Luke are hunting him down. They're hunting him down like a witch. And there's Johnny to the inside. Can he make the move? Can he make it happen as they come up through turn 4? Luke Bennett right behind him as they come up through this long stretch before they got to come up to the chicane here, the Klein chicane. Turn 5 is all 3 of these guys. Can they sort it out? The rain is falling now, ladies and gentlemen. We don't see any moisture on the track, but it is on the car. We see a guy off there. We're not sure who went off. Still have all the leaders running. It must have been a guy a lap down. So, as we look, all 3 of these guys, look at all this action as these guys are coming through the chicane, ladies and gentlemen. I can't script this. You can't make this up. These are some of the top guys on the platform in the league racing nose to tail. This is all for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. JR, meanwhile, out front all by himself, 7 seconds, 7.6 seconds, while these guys still are trying to shuffle for position. JR is just walking away. He's not racing anybody out front all by himself. JR is doing a great job. Like I said, had a really bad race. The first one started good, finished less, but the wipers are now coming on. It looks like we're making some pit stops here. Looks like we have JR. Nope, JR's still out. Gray Warrior's still out. Johnny, Luke still out, and Gray Warrior or NRP coming up behind us. So we are getting we have Gray Warrior and Lecky into the pits. So Gray Warrior and Lecky gave up them spots to come into the pits. They're going to go probably with wet tires, I'd imagine, right now. Amber QE also into the pits. So we're keeping an eye on this battle here. JR, meanwhile, out front, still by himself here. 8.5 seconds now out in front of everybody. Johnny and Luke are still beating and banging on each other as these guys come flying down here. Looks like they're coming down through turn 4 as they come down through this long stretch. Like I said before, got to come hard on the accelerator. The track is starting to get slick now, starting to get wet, so these braking points are going to change. We know Luke likes to race hard on these brakes, brake really late. You can see him come through there, gets a little off of that chicane, air under the front tire. Sweet Johnny's still holding his position though. Johnny's doing a fantastic job. We see the spray now starting to come off of the tires. The rain's starting to pick up a little bit. Track conditions are going to start to change, and a lot of guys are in the pits now. Lions Foot, Amber QE still in the pits. Amber QE's Lions Foot, Amber QE now out of the pits. Lions Foot in the pits. Tuggy Bear in the pits. Fury in the pits. So all these guys are making tire changes. Looks like most of these guys are anyway. Luke Bennett, meanwhile, still chasing Johnny all over the back of him. Puts the bumper, pushes him up through the turn 8. As they come through turn 9, as these guys come down the stretch, like I said before, on the accelerator, up through the gears, down to the bridge where the braking point is. They're going to get on the brakes. You can see them dive down, and it looks like they're both going to come in the pit lane. Smart move by those guys. JR, meanwhile, into the pit. So who is going to get the lead here? Looks like we have NRP out there by himself. Is NRP going to come into the pits? We're not sure where he is on there. NRP is coming into the pits. K Morris also into the pits. Disco McDisco Face now out there all by himself. Looks like if he stays out, he will inherit the lead. Nope, Disco McDisco Face now. Looks like the whole entire field is getting ready to come into the pits here. Ayatel looks like he is also going to come into the pits. No, Ayatel maybe already made his pit stop. Maybe he's comfortable on the slicks. Ayatel, it looks like he comes out of the corner really loose. You see the spray coming off of his tires now. The display is saying he's still on soft slicks. We know sometimes that can be wrong. Ayatel inherits the lead now as K Morris into the pits. Okay, we're getting reports from the track that Ayatel is still on slicks. Ayatel is still on slicks, so he takes the lead. See how far he can get out in front of these guys right now. Gray Warrior coming up behind him right now, 6 seconds. Reports from the track, Luke Bennett receiving a 10-second penalty speeding on pit road. It's detrimental to the finish of this race here. He's really good in the rain. He's really good around this track. As we see Gray Warrior trackside with him, he must still be on slicks as he's getting around here. Looks like he's getting a little sideways. Oh, Gray Warrior is on wet, so Gray Warrior, it did pit out, so Gray Warrior now is in second, 8 seconds behind Ayatel, who did not pit. JR, let's ride along with JR. JR now third place, 9 seconds behind Ayatel. So, tentatively speaking, only 2 seconds behind Gray Warrior. We'll keep an eye on Ayatel here as he comes down out of the down a turn, down through the second chicane here as you see him get really loose coming through here. It looks like he's slinging it sideways, riding in the snow almost looks like. To see the rain coming down, the sunshine's still peeking out here a little bit, so the track conditions, it's just a shower they're saying. Might stick around for 3 or 4 laps, we're not sure here. Just a shower. Can he make it handle? Looks like he's still holding a good position here. 8 seconds still out in front of these guys. So if he can maintain that position, he comes through turn 8. You see the puddles are starting to get turn 8. There's a little bit of laying water coming out of turn 8 as he comes out through turn 9. We're keeping an eye on Ayatel out front. See what he decides to do here. If he decides to come in the pits, if he decides to keep it out. See the water starting to lay on the track as JR comes into the background. Ayatel keeps it out. Ayatel is going to stay out on the track. Take a gamble. Losing time now. 6 seconds JR behind him. Gets around Gray Warrior. Gray Warrior now falling back. Lion's Foot and Luke now coming back. We get reports that Luke now has a 10-second penalty. Got caught speeding on pit road. They can be tricky sometimes. Sometimes you can beat them. Sometimes you can't. This time he didn't get away with it. So 10-second penalty for Luke Bennett right now. We'll keep an eye on that. He's currently 8 seconds in front of K Morris. So K Morris now out of the pits, being followed by NRP. K Morris up to 6th place after having some bad luck on the first couple laps of this race. Got tangled up in the last lap of the last race. Lost first place. Ended up finishing second. Got tangled up with an accident in the beginning of this race here. As you see him come wide out of corner 1 there. They come up and line up for turn 2. Being chased by NRP. So good run for him, up to 6th place right now. The points leader, like we said, knows he's going to have a huge points day. Took 2nd place in the sprint race, hoping to get a better finish here in the feature. He did it last week at Long Beach. Started not last in the field, late in the field, came up through the field and ended up winning the feature at Long Beach. So we know he's really good in these Ginettas. Let's see him go off track as we see NRP get up beside him. Looks like K Morris is going to have to get back a little bit, regather himself, and get in behind NRP here as we go up to Luke Bennett, still chasing Johnny. These two here, evenly matched cars, evenly matched talent, evenly matched racetrack, man. This is just good, hard racing. These two respecting each other, knowing the track, knowing their equipment, knowing just how to race a car on the track, these guys. As they hard on the brakes down through, and looks like Ayatel out front now. JR is going to take the lead, caught up to the leader. Ayatel still out on the track, has not pitted yet, still on those slick tires, so these faster guys are coming behind him. He has to be aware of that. See JR now coming up behind him. Johnny and Luke are now within 3 seconds, 2 seconds of Ayatel. As you see them all coming in the picture. Ayatel now to the outside. As we see Johnny and Luke now coming across the start-finish line. Lap 11. 11 out of 25, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 11 out of 25. Rainy conditions right now. The sun is going to come out. Ayatel, you can see him get sideways again. He's got to be thinking about coming into the pits here at some point. See Johnny and Luke behind these guys. JR, meanwhile, out front now by 3 seconds. Got a commanding lead now once he's on these wet tires. Feels pretty comfortable with his car. Haven't heard any complaints at all from him as we see Johnny come to the inside and Luke around Ayatel as these guys are now trying to get her back together and try to chase down JR. Don't know if the draft is any or the toe is any good here at this track or not, but they're going to try to use every inch of the track and every ounce of their talent to try to catch the leader here. We know Luke Bennett's really good here. We know Kay Morris is also really good here. These guys all had good outing. Johnny had a spectacular outing in the first. Had some contact, late contact between him and Kay Morris and all the people involved there. We're going to take a look at that, but still great racing. You see these guys, lap 11, these guys have been stuck together since about lap 2 or 3 here, so neither one of these guys budging. Johnny knows it's a big points day for him. He knows it's a podium, wants to get a win. Looks like JR's in command right now, 3.2 seconds out in front. So keep an eye on this battle here. Go back here to Grey Warrior and Amber QE. Amber QE, looks like Grey Warrior's having a hard time in the rain here in that number 113 Ginetta as he's trying to chase down Amber QE. They were close together. You see him go spin in the background there, coming through there like a banshee. We're getting reports that there's another incident that his team has put slicks on instead of wets. We had all kind of incidents last night in our Thursday night light series. If you didn't tune into that, Daytona Road Course in a GTEs, spectacular race. Absolutely phenomenal as these guys come across the line for lap 12, side by side. Johnny and Luke, side by side. Johnny to the inside, Luke way on the outside, out into the sand, back onto the paint, out across the curb. Already has a 10-second penalty. Don't know if that's going to matter or not. Still trying to chase down, only 3 seconds away from JR, so technically he has to pass JR and finish by at least 10.001 seconds in front of him. Can be done, a feat unheard of. Can be done. Anything is possible, ladies and gentlemen, if you put your mind to it. Keeping an eye on these guys here, Johnny and Luke in second place, second and third place. Ayatel now into the pits. Ayatel looks like he's levitating, and he's out of the pits now. Ayatel is. So into the pits. JR, meanwhile, out front all by himself as he comes down into turn 7, down through this tricky chicane here. Looks like the water might be forming up on the inside of that right or that left-hander as they come out of there. As you see Johnny and Luke come through the picture here. Kay Morris, meanwhile, let's take a look and see where Kay Morris is at. Kay Morris up to 4th place. We're not seeing him in the picture here. We're not really sure what camera angle is doing, but let's try to catch up. Go back to JR and recycle it. Here we go. John Boy. I keep calling him John Boy. It's Johnny and Luke. Johnny and Luke still this epic battle here as they come out of turn 8. Make this little left and right-hander out of turn 9. See JR in the picture there. Only 2.8 seconds in front of these guys. These guys are racing hard. They're keeping it clean. It looks like they may be catching JR. Is JR now out in front? We know his car went away late in the race last race. Started strong. Started good up on the pole. Up towards the pole, not on the pole. Started up towards the pole there. And ended up having a really bad race. So we know his car went away. Don't know what's happening now on these wet conditions here right now. The forecast is calling for clear conditions. So the sun, it looks like it's starting to come out. The track's not drying up yet. See if these guys can make it happen. 13 out of 25, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know if they're going to have to stay out on slicks. They're going to lose too much time. Anyway, JR 2.5 seconds now out front. Luke and Johnny together here. Let's take a look at NRP and Lecky. NRP was up towards the front here. Weather conditions changed. It also changes the style of a lot of these drivers. Lecky's pretty good in the rain. Lecky holding 5th place comfortably right now, 25 seconds behind the leader. NRP behind him. As you see Kay Morris coming into the picture right in front of them. You see him go right through the picture there. Kay Morris currently our points leader. Kay Morris currently up to 4th place, 23 seconds behind the leader. So not sure if he's going to be able to make that happen, depending on if there's another pit stop, what these guys decide to do. We've heard multiple strategies, multiple theories. We don't know. We don't know how it's going to shake out, but we're keeping an eye on this here. Disco McDisco face here. And looks like Amber Chewy coming up, having a good run here in the rain with these Ginettas. Currently running 7:35 seconds. Like we said, he had our feature race last night. He raced last weekend. I believe he finished first in our sprint race last week, if I'm not correct. If it wasn't first, it was up there first or second. But great outing. I should have this stuff written down, but I'm sorry. I got a lot of things going on here. Oh, and Amber Chewy. Looks like you see Amber Chewy get sideways. Oh, we can't get the angle on him. But anyway, Lecky. Go back to Lecky and NRP. You see Lecky coming out of the corner here as you see NRP right in behind him. And Luke Bennett now looks like he took the position away from Johnny. But we don't think that's really going to matter with that 10-second penalty that Luke Bennett has. But see if he can try to get away from these guys. Lap 14 out of 25. There's 11 laps left. 11 laps left with the pit strategies, and we're getting reports that there's a bloody puddle on the track. So you got to be careful. You got to watch that. Meanwhile, JR out front. It's now only 0.6 of a second behind Luke Bennett. Luke Bennett is now climbing all over the back of JR as they come through turn 4 out through this long stretch. All three of these guys using up every inch of track they can possibly get as they come down to this hard braking zone through this Klein chicane, turn 5 here. See if they can get it all worked out. We know there's been standing water around. These guys are jumping up over the curves. Looks like JR. What happened to JR? Does JR get around? Let's take a look here. Oh no, it looks like he got sideways there. Take a ride on here with JR here. We're looking at the chase camera. He gets way hard on the brakes. Almost gets into Luke Bennett as they come through this turn 7 here. Out around, you can see the puddles laying on the inside of the curb, and Luke Bennett just walks away from him. JR don't know what to do here. You just see Luke Bennett just walks away as they come down through turn 8. JR now back to second place. Like we said before, he had a really good car in the first race. His car went away in the second one. As he gets through there, it's a good exit as he comes up here through turn 9. Down this long stretch, they come up under this first bridge and down before this second bridge. There's a hard braking zone here, right around the 100-meter mark, 50-meter mark. On the brakes, you see him, they got to turn in. Watch them puddles sitting in there. Them puddles can wreak havoc on a race line. Throw your car in every direction. Let's go back trackside here, ladies and gentlemen. As you see Luke Bennett and JR out front all by themselves. NRP, meanwhile, on the back of K. Morris. This looks like a battle maybe heating up here. K. Morris back to 5th. Lecky up to 4th now. Don't know what transpired there. There's a lot of laying puddles around as we see the sun starting to come back out. And looks like, I'm not sure what happened. NRP got really loose there. Must have missed the gear. Had to reset. Lost a lot of time. He's got K. Morris now chasing down Lecky. This is 4th and 5th place here. As Luke Bennett now inherits the lead. Pulling away 1 second now. He needs to pull 10 seconds out in front of JR to win this race. 15 out of 25 laps, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the rain is starting to let up a little bit, but the track conditions are still wet as we keep an eye on this battle here. He's a master in the rain. Loves the rainy conditions. From the UK, he said this is like an average everyday drive to work for these guys. A lot of these guys love to drive in the rain. They're good at it on the track. Shames some of us. So K. Morris right now 5th behind Lecky. We keep an eye on this battle here. Go back here to Ayatel. Ayatel started off good, took the lead, went back into the pits, and another incident of the pit crew not changing the correct tires. So good news for him. When the track dries out, he will have the appropriate tires on if the track dries out here in the next 10 laps. The bad news is he's losing a ton of time to the leaders on these dry tires as the drivers are going around on the wet tires. Right now, Luke Bennett, 1.9 seconds now out in front of JR. As you can see, Luke Bennett come out of the final corner with JR coming in behind him. You got Johnny now. Johnny, 19 seconds in behind these guys coming out of turn 9. And K. Morris and Lecky now still in this battle. Looks like NRP now. NRP comes in. Looks like K. Morris up to 4th, NRP to 5th, and Lecky to 6th now. Lecky now got shuffled back to 6th. Must have had a little incident. Got caught up in some water. Now he's back to 6th place. Chasing NRP. Looks like K. Morris now comfortably up to 4th. 34 seconds behind the leader. Lap 16 out of 25 here. 9 laps remain. We know the track temperatures are changing. The rain is starting to let up. The track temperatures are going to dry out, so some guys still have slicks on. Some guys have wets on. Are the slicks going to be good enough to catch up with the wets? Are the wets going to be hard enough to stay in front of the slicks once the temperature dries out or tracks dry out, if it does dry out? 84 degrees is the track temperature. 71 degrees Fahrenheit is the temperature outside. So it's a good chance that we may have a driving line here, ladies and gentlemen. So as we keep an eye on this track here, just battle on track, is Lecky now out in front of K. Moore, or out in front of NRP. NRP right in behind Lecky as we try to get the camera angle there. We're not really sure what happened. We'll take a ride on here with NRP. Let's ride on board here with NRP as we see what kind of track conditions we have here. Riding in the cockpit here with NRP. Looks like he got off of Lecky just a little bit. So you can see the sun is out. The skies are blue, clouds are back in the sky, but there are still a lot of residual water laying on the track, so these guys have to be careful. Says he's on soft slicks. We're not sure if he is or not. Sometimes the game just tells us what they think we should be on. So there's a lot of these guys came into the pits. Most of these guys have made their pit stop. So ATL we think was the last one. So looks like JR now on the back of I don't know if he's on the back of JR currently behind, okay. Taking a look at the track side here, JR had to get around that back driver there. We're not sure who that was there. Let's take a look here. Alright, anyway, back to the action. K. Morris up to fourth. Johnny now takes third. JR up to second. He had a battle on track. He had a hard time getting around the guy. Lost a little bit of time to the leader. Luke Bennett now 3 seconds out in front of everybody. 17 out of 25 laps now. So the laps are winding down. Looks like the track is starting to dry out. Looks like there's a racing line starting to develop on parts of this track. So tires may come into play as we see JR come through turn 7 through that chicane. Start to wind it up out through turn 8 as they make this long right-hander coming out through here. Only come up over the hill and back down to the brakes as they come through this long, or this hard right-handed turn 8 here onto the apex. You got to watch the puddles there from the rain left over. You see the track starting to dry out coming through turn 9 there. Got a driving line starting to come through as we see Luke out in front. You see JR in behind him now, and it's all the way back to 26 seconds behind these guys where Johnny and K. Morris are battling. They're not battling, they're within range of each other. You see K. Morris come through the chicane, get a little loose out of turn 7 now. Our points leader up to 4th place with 18 out of 25 laps here remaining, ladies and gentlemen. Lecky now back to 5th place, 42 seconds behind these guys. NRP was behind him. To see him exit out of the chicane there through this long right-hander out through turn 7 as they come up through turn 8. NRP new to the league. NRP, welcome to the league. Had a great outing last week. Enjoyed racing with him, commentating on him. Not sure if he raced last night or not. We had an epic Thursday night lights race last night, ladies and gentlemen. Daytona road course with the GTEs. Fantastic commentary, fantastic racing. If you guys want to get involved in what we're doing here, as we're going to just ride along here with Luke Bennett doing our leaders, gets to give him the time he deserves for being out front. 5 seconds now out front, so if he keeps his pace up, ladies and gentlemen, he tentatively could win this race if he keeps up this pace. But JR needs to figure something out to see the race line. He comes around here behind him. You see the race line starting to dry out a little bit. He comes down here to turn 7, down through the chicane here. We got Johnny now in behind him. But like I said, if you want to get involved in what we're doing here, you see all these guys. Somebody got loose through the chicane. Let's see Tuggy Bear coming now. But anyway, JR, we're going to keep an eye on this battle here. JR is coming up on lap traffic. Lap traffic is going to have to mind JR. Is okay to flash his lights for that guy to let him know that he is lap traffic. So, but like I said, if you guys get involved, you follow our link underneath to our Discord. Go to our website, www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Hit the link, register as a driver, get involved. This is our GT4 Ginetta League. This is our first inaugural season with this. This is our second series season in Rubbings Racing here as we keep an eye on JR. Now 6 seconds behind Luke Bennett. So we're getting ready to start season 3. We got a bunch of big changes coming, got a bunch of new formats coming. It's going to be very exciting. The league is growing like mad. The community is fantastic. Everybody's giving us their input. We're trying to make this the best league we can. So get involved. It's free. It's fun. It's friendly. The competition is great, as you can see on track here. These guys have been racing all day. The track conditions are starting to get better, but the track conditions were horrible at one point. And you can see nobody's really falling off that bad from each other. NRP now right up to 6th place, looks like, as he's coming down to the last chicane. NRP, and you can see K. Morris come out of turn 1 behind Johnny. Looks like he's going to try to make up some time. Only 3 seconds now behind Johnny. Lap 19 out of 25. 6 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody took their pit stops. We're pretty sure everybody did when the rain came. Ayatel, I think, was the last one to take a pit stop, if we're correct. He did lose a bunch of time to the lead. As you see currently right now, he's sitting in 10th place, a minute and 42 seconds behind the leaders. Don't know if he had any incidents. You see K. Morris get off track. K. Morris off the track, gets back on as he gathers it up as he comes down to the chicane here, down to the Klein chicane into turn 5. We're getting reports from the track that the wet tires are now starting to get a little bit slippery. So the guys on the slick tires behind the guys with the wet tires may have a 4 or 5 lap advantage here as the dry line starts to come back into play. But depending on the line and depending on what line you take, it's the slicks might be a little softer, but they're not as good in the puddles. So there's still some laying puddles around here, ladies and gentlemen. As you see K. Morris now 4th place. He comes down in the turn 8. Still see laying water there. You still see tires splashing, but right there you see the driving line dry up, and it's all dry. You see the sun on the track. As you see Johnny out in front of him now. He's trying to make up some time on him. K. Morris is trying to make up some time on Johnny. Didn't make up too much. It looks like he lost a little bit of ground, but it looks like we got JR now on the back of Luke Bennett. Luke Bennett has a 10-second penalty. Luke Bennett had a spin. We got reports that Luke Bennett spun. We didn't catch that. We was watching going back through the field there. JR now has an opportunity to take over the race if he can catch up with Luke Bennett. Luke Bennett, we know, has a 10-second penalty, so all JR has to do is finish within 10 seconds of Luke Bennett. JR's been good. We got 5 laps left. We got a lot of these guys on wets, a lot of these guys on slicks, so a lot of lap times are going to be changing for different guys here, so let's keep an eye on these times here. So Luke Bennett spins again. Luke Bennett goes around. JR takes over the lead. Let's go on board here with Luke Bennett and see what happens. Luke Bennett now comes out being chased by Johnny once again. Or being chased by, I don't know who's by, it looks like there's lap traffic. I'm not sure who that is. Maybe Lion's Foot. Yeah, Lion's Foot now in behind Luke Bennett. Lion's Foot now 8th place. Luke Bennett up to 2nd. JR now 5 seconds. You see JR all by himself. Great run for JR today. JR lock and load. One founding member of the league. Does a lot for the leagues. Just had a brand new baby, so he's super busy at the house. Super busy maintaining the league. He's got a lot of things going on in his life. JR Lock and Load is doing a fantastic job at Zolder here today. Had a horrible race first time. Horrible finish to the race. Started at the front of the track here. Started up towards the beginning of the race. 2nd or 3rd place. Right now in command at 1st place. Luke Bennett was running in 1st. Currently spun. 5 seconds now back. Luke Bennett does have a 10-second penalty, though. A 10-second penalty for a pit road violation. So Johnny, meanwhile, 27 seconds back behind Luke Bennett with K. Morris about 5 or 6 seconds behind him. So K. Morris currently running 4th. Our points leader currently running 4th. Don't have a whole lot of action going on track here. We're just going to go ahead and watch these top 2 here. We see Luke Bennett calling within 4.6 seconds as we're taking a look at the YouTube feed here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Radio Siren says he says he's out. He's in for DJ Phil Green. Let's see here. Disco McDisco Face says, do it for us GT3 guys. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for giving us your comments. For tuning in for the Friday night Ginetta GT3 or GT4 Super Cup Challenge. Keep an eye on Luke Bennett. 4.3 seconds now behind JR Lock and Load. Go back to K. Morris and see if K. Morris is making up any time on Johnny. You can see both of these guys in the picture. Looks like Johnny now is in front of K. Morris. Made up some time on him. They both come up over the hill. Down here, they got to come up through the chicane. Like I said, come out through that left-hander, get on the brakes, get the car straightened out, back off the brakes, in through the chicane. You got water laying there. Oh, and it looks like Johnny. Or it looks like, no, that wasn't Johnny. Oh, K. Morris spins around. K. Morris looks like he comes out of the chicane and gets spun around. Gets it going out of that turn 7 chicane there. K. Morris still in 4th place there. Still in good position. Lecky now in behind him. 4 seconds. Can Lecky do anything to capitalize on that as the laps are winding down? Lap 22 out of 25, ladies and gentlemen. 3 laps to go. JR out in front now. 3 seconds is the the dead time difference between him and Luke, but Luke Bennett does have a 10-second penalty. Luke Bennett can maintain second place if he finishes where he's at right now, 26 seconds right now in front of Johnny. Johnny and Kay Morris, we're going close at it together there. Kay Morris come out of that chicane. Take a round up over with Kay Morris here. As he comes out of that final turn, winds it up through the gears, down through the start-finish line here, up against the wall. He's got to be frustrated. Good finish, though. 4th place, not really bad of a day. Had a really good run on the first one. Had some contact. Up in the top 4, not bad for a points day. Good finish overall. If he can wind this home and bring it home, good finish overall for Kay Morris. You still see the water laying into that area there as they come through turn 2 and out through turn 3. Still water splashing. So some of these guys on slicks, some of them still on wets. Luke Bennett now, meanwhile. Luke Bennett, we're getting reports that Luke Bennett spun again, and here he comes out of the corner. It's a horrible camera angle for a spin point. I don't know why they would have done that, but Luke Bennett now to second. Meanwhile, JR out in front as he comes out down the backstretch here, down to turn 10 on the braking zone, smooth and calm. He knows nobody's around him. Just bringing it up through the chicane, back up smooth through the gears. At red and white number 27, Ginetta. JR is having a fantastic outing. Lap 23 out of 25 as JR crosses the line all by himself. Good run here from JR Lock and Load. It's got to be happy with it. Was frustrated with his car in the first one, like we said before. New dad, proud dad of a proud new daughter, and he's got to be proud of what he did today here on the racetrack. So far, lap 23 out of 25, JR Lock and Load in command. 8 seconds now over Luke Bennett. As Luke Bennett now comes up through turn 2. Johnny, meanwhile, back behind him, being followed by, I think it's a lap car back there, but Johnny coming across the start-finish line. The 3rd place right now. Had a really good day. Him and Luke were battling real hard. The first in the sprint race. The second one, they were battling a little bit there, and his pit race or the pit stops kind of shuffled everybody up. There were some spins there, so good race by Johnny. Good outing by Johnny today so far. 3rd, Kay Morris currently running 4th, 40 seconds behind the lead right now. Just going to finish it up right there. We think Kay Morris has had a good outing. Knows it's a good point day. There's really no point to horse at this late in the race. 23 out of 25 laps completed, ladies and gentlemen. Just going to go ahead and just wind it home. Just keep his distance and make sure he brings it home clean, ladies and gentlemen. Good run for Kay Morris. Lecky, meanwhile, 5th place. Looks like him and NRP are back at it again. NRP, these guys were battling earlier on wet conditions. They got spread apart. It looks like the conditions are drying back up. Well, keep an eye on this battle here. Is NRP all over the back of Lecky as these guys come up. Let's see where they're at here as they come down through turn 4. They're coming up through turn 4 through this. They got to take that inside, float it all the way to the outside there. It'll look really good as you see the suspensions working on those Ginettas as they come down to this hard braking zone. Lecky now 5th place. Top 5 right now for Lecky. Top 5 if this remains. Top 5. NRP in 6th place. Maybe NRP wants to take that top 5 away from Lecky. He's going to try everything he can to do here right now. Keep an eye on this battle. This is good racing here by these two guys. Both clean, respectful. Lecky does a lot for the league as well. If you're just tuning in, we got a lot of mods and marshals racing in here. A lot of things going on behind the scenes. We like to get in here and race with the community and race with you guys and get to know you. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes here at Rubbing Racing, though. Lecky is a big part of that. Does a lot of the stuff for us. Always busy. See him on track sometimes, but it's good to have him in the lobby tonight. Sometimes he misses because he's just dedicated to making this one of the best platforms, best racing leagues on the planet. So good outing to see Lecky today. He winks at me with his one headlight there. Lecky coming down into turn 10, but it looks like NRP might try to make a move. No, he does not. NRP wisely falls in behind. JR Lockaload, meanwhile, crossing the line, 24th, up through the chicane. Or not 24th, lap 24 out of 25. All by himself. We're going to go back here. NRP and Lecky here. NRP right behind him in his toes. These guys come down this wide front stretch. NRP looks like he's going to try to make a move to the inside. The camera was a little deceptive there. Gets a little loose. Has to get off the throttle. And Lecky just pulls away there by about 1.5 seconds. Lecky looking really comfortable in this car. Really comfortable in his conditions as he get all the way to the outside. Keep an eye on Lecky as he comes out through that corner there. Just horses the car. Looks really good as he comes down here through turn 4. On the brakes a little bit and then back on the throttle. Looks like it's really dry through there. A little bit of water still on that curb. It can be annoying. Could throw your car a little bit, but he looks really good as he's coming down through here. Car's a little beat up, as expected though. wet conditions in a track like Zolder here in Belgium. And we got somebody spinning out in front of these guys coming out of the turn 5 chicane there. Not sure who that was. Looks like it's a back marker coming up. So you got Lecky on the inside. See if he can make it stick here. And you got Johnny right behind, or NRP right behind him. The lap traffic lets him get around. Lecky coming through the chicane. Looking really good as he exits here on the outside. Makes a dive back to the inside. Ginetta looks really good. And NRP looks like he lost a lot of time coming out of there. Almost 3 seconds now. JR lock and load, meanwhile, on lap 25. One more time for the Magic Man. JR lock and load making it happen today. Here he comes. One last time through the Klein chicane as he climbs up the hill, makes the power to the Ginetta. Suspension getting light, back down, downforce, holding it to the track as he comes down, run along the left-hander, hard on the brakes. Hard on the brakes. Luke Bennett spins again. Luke Bennett gets it going again. JR back out of the chicane. Take a victory ride here with Luke Bennett. JR lock and load here. Go to the interface. And JR lock and load comes out of turn 7 all by himself in the red and white Ginetta. Car is crispy and clean. Hard on the brakes as he comes down through turn 8 for the final time. Into the water. Back on the accelerator. Turn 9. Coming down the backstretch for the final time. JR lock and load. See if he can make the chicane happen. He knows there's nobody even in the picture. On the brakes. Into the chicane. The number 27. Black and red. Ginetta GT4, JR lock and load, great win, great victory. JR lock and load takes it, ladies and gentlemen, for a feature win here. Luke Bennett spun again, collected it back together. 21 seconds now. Looks like he's coming down the turn 10 on the brakes. The Ginetta dives down. You can see him. Looks like he's coming through the chicane. Good run for Luke Bennett. Unfortunately, still has that 10-second penalty. Looks like he may be able to shake as we got Johnny now. Johnny looks like he's coming down third place, holding third place right now, coming down through the final chicane. One more time, Johnny being able to hold it together, keeping third place all to himself. Nobody to contest him. Out wide, he's got K Morris now. Good race from Johnny as he comes across the start-finish line. K Morris, 4th place coming out of turn 8. Looks like he's got some company behind him. Lecky looks like he's behind him. Yeah, Lecky may be able to challenge him. We'll keep an eye on this battle. And NRP still not out of the picture here, ladies and gentlemen. See if anything can happen. Any last lap drama here. And just see if it can happen as we see K Morris get through all by himself. Lecky behind him. These guys all behave as they come down through. K Morris, 4th place. Good run from K Morris. Shuts her down. Lecky to 5th place. NRP to 6th place. And we go back to Amber Chewy here. Amber Chewy now coming out of turn 9 all by himself. Great run from him today. 7th place. Looks like his car is beat up a little bit. Didn't hear too much from him. Not a whole lot of action on line as he comes out of the corner one last time. Amber Chewy. Welcome back, Amber Chewy. 7th place. Great race on him. Looks like we got some action on track here. So thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another fantastic edition of the Ginetta GT4 G55 Super Cup Challenge. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Kenbo76. God bless and good night.
It would have been interesting towards the end if I could keep up with that 10 second gap, but I reckon